we're in the second episode, and you know what? I will dub this episode "The Golfening," which I think might be a good name for just the Rando rant in general. So I'll do that. Because yes, I'm gonna say it right away. Joel doesn't make it through this episode. Joel is donezo. My prediction was he's gonna make it like 2 more episodes, 3 more episodes. Maybe we get some more stuff from Joel in the town, which I think would make a lot of sense if you want to have some more Joel in the show, more Pedro Pascal. So, no, he doesn't make it. Also, a quick correction from the last video, stream, rant, wherever you watch this. The stalkers are not new. I think that has been established during the last stream after I did the rant on it. Apparently they were in 1. I legit do not remember them at all because they're not really treated as a new thing. So I think I just killed them without noticing they were stalking me. But there were a couple of them in the stream I did the rant on. So they just make a bigger deal out of it in the show, so they're not new. And I just got confused because when I googled it, it sounded to me like they introduced something completely new. But I guess they just meant they introduced it newly in the show. So, yeah. Quick correction on that one. They are not a completely new thing. So, yeah, there you go. In any case, we start the episode with a little dream sequence where we see Abby having a little nightmare. Basically talking to herself, telling her to not go through this door, which is the door to the operating room, in order to make her not see whatever brain is splattered across the wall. Then she wakes up, and they all realize, because now it's the day, because as you remember, they arrived at night last time. They look at the town, and they're like, oh, damn, this is like a whole big old town we're against with, so that's gonna complicate things for us. And they wonder. They point out. You know what? That's a bit of a problem because I already did some watch, and apparently they have massive security. They have patrols. They have a wall. They have dogs, and they have 4 main gates. And it's going to be incredibly tough to even get in there. So that's going to be a problem. And even if by some miracle they manage to get in there, they don't even know where Joel is in there. You're like, oh, okay, so they actually just directly point out the problems they have to face if they even want to get in there. And Abby suggests, well, we can grab a patrol and make them talk. Threaten them or something. And then one of the other girls in there, or ladies in there, is like, but Abby, we said we're not gonna hurt anyone else except Joel. It's like, okay. And Abby says like, oh, well, so, yeah, we're just gonna pretend to. We're just gonna threaten them. Don't worry. We're not hurting anyone. Haha, yeah. We're not so bad, actually. We just want the one guy we deem to be wrong. And that already feels a bit like a cop. I was like, see, that's why they didn't kill. They're not gonna kill whoever is with Joel at the time being. Because as you will see very soon, they switched around who's actually with Joel and who is with Ellie, which is quite interesting. But there's some others in there that also obviously point out, well, we obviously just can't let them go if we threaten them, because that's going to be problems in the future. So, you know, got a little bit of different opinions here. Not too bad. So yeah, it's in their minds, and we're going to have to see how they deal with it. Because they specifically point out what a big undertaking this is going to be. But if this goes anywhere like in the show, we know they don't have to deal with it. We'll see how that is very soon. But yeah, now that they have pointed out the problems, it's time to see what their ideas are and how to solve them in the future. And the one guy says, I completely forgot his name, it's Ellie, it's Abby's boyfriend here. And he says, you know what, I got a plan, but I need some time to crystallize this plan. So Abby goes on her watch, the first watch, and he tells the other one when she's gone, actually my plan is to convince her to not go through with this plan. Because if we go through with this plan, we are not gonna make it. because this is a suicide mission. There's no way we're gonna make this. Owen Moore. Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, that's the guy. Owen, thank you. We got there eventually. So yeah, his plan is to convince her to not go through with it because it's a crazy thing to do. There's no way we're gonna get up and fight this whole city because that's, quite frankly, insanity. We then cut to Ellie in her bed being sleepy and Jesse coming around. Sorry, I mean Lester. I can't mix up the memes. But I mean Jesse. Jess picks up Ellie, and we basically have like the same scene from the video game where she gets woken up. He's like, I'm gonna get you for the patrol. And they have like the little conversations like, oh, I heard things happened last night. Is everything okay? And Ellie starts talking about, oh, Dina was drunk and high, so she gave me a kiss and whatever. So yeah, and then Jesse makes the kind of memes the rounds like, oh man, I can't believe you did that after we've been broken up for 1 week. But obviously he's just like, oh yeah, I don't actually care. I already knew about that anyway. I meant about the whole you and Joel having a fight and Seth, the bigot sandwich man. So yeah, nothing too crazy there. So let me get this here. Dunzo. So yeah, that's pretty much the same as in the show. They make their way to the patrol, and we already hear is like, oh, Joel, Jesse and Ellie are gonna go on the patrol. It's like, oh, that's already different because we in the game went with Dina and had a whole thing going on, and yeah, so apparently they're going to patrol. But Ellie says at some point, because she's annoyed with Jesse all the time, she says, well, no offense, but I'm gonna do my patrol with Joel because you kind of go on my nerves because you keep asking about me and Joel. It's complicated between us, but it's still us. We're gonna be fine. Just stop talking about us and stop worrying, basically. And I just like, again, that, like in episode 1, she just says like, you know what? I know we're supposed to do patrol, but I'm gonna do it with someone else. And it's like, oh god. The thing is, she knows she can get away with it because the show showed us that she can get away with all these things. So it's really annoying. But that's not happening because Joel already went out on patrol with Dina earlier in the day. So they're already on the road, meaning that's not happening. So, as I said, we get Jesse and Ellie on the patrol. And Dina and Joel are currently on the patrol already. So they switched those characters already out. So, interesting. Let's see what we do with that, I guess. Also, Ellie just can't stop swearing. Just seems like, oh, suck my dick, fucking whatever, fucking 1,000, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, they also point out that another patrol with other people, they found bodies beneath the snow. Those are infected. And apparently there were a couple of infected that used the corpses as like, to keep warm and not die or something. I wasn't really entirely sure what they meant with this, but I'm just more confused as to why there's a whole group of infected just out here in nowhere, basically, and they didn't see it beforehand. It's gonna be a bit more weird soon because they start to explain why there is a horde later in the show, or later in the episode, like the same horde that we we run away from in the game, where while I was playing was like, why is there a big ass horde here? Like, what is happening? That's weird. But hey, before they go on the patrol, Jess says, hey, let's go by the restaurant.
Past that checkpoint gate.
Let's go to the restaurant because Maria wants to talk to you. And we basically get the same scene between Bigot Sandwich Man and Ellie, except we don't have the Bigot Sandwich line anymore. They got rid of that one. But basically, they go up to to Seth. I think his name was Seth, I'm pretty sure. And it's like, oh, Seth, you got anything to say? And he's like, yeah, I had a bit too many brewskis. I was out of line. I shouldn't have said what I said. So yeah, I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. Again, like in the video game, He has a pretty honest apology going on, and also it's like, here, I made you some sandwiches for the road. Grab them. And Ellie just says, "Oh yeah, it happens to every one of us, saying things we never thought of before." I was like, listen, you don't need to accept any apology you get, but do you need to be so childish about it? Like, come on. And it says, "Yeah, I'm sorry, I shouldn't have thought it in the first place." Yada yada, and he just says he's generally sorry, basically, and Ellie just turns around and leaves. So, yeah, it's pretty much the same. Little different, like little tweaks here, I guess, to make it a bit different. So I'm looking if there's anything to jump onto here. But in essence, the same. He just apologizes, and they're off on patrol. Pretty much. Oh, there was also a drill in that restaurant where Maria says, "Oh yeah, it's just a drill. It doesn't have anything to do with it." So I got a little confused here, because the way it looks, it feels like they do the drill because they're worried about the bodies. And I was like, oh, maybe they actually did realize the pipes were full of infected fungus stuff. But later in the show, they smash the pipe and then see that there's like fungus growth in there. So I guess that was just a drill. But then between those two scenes, we also have a thing where they load up on ammunition on the walls. So it looks like they expect something to happen, but when that happens, there's a guy coming around, there's fungus in the thing, and then they see the horde approach. So it's a bit weird. I was a bit confused as to what they actually want me to show. I think there was just a random drill, which just happened to be here, in case something happens. But I think they put this here to show us, hey, they are prepared in case a horde happens. So it was like, yeah, it was a bit weird in terms of stuff going on. So yeah, you might notice Tommy doesn't even leave the settlement for these patrols, because Joel and Dina are out on one and Ellie and Jesse on the other one. So Tommy stays inside, and you might make the connection, oh, I think something is gonna happen in the town, and he's gonna be busy there. Oh yes, they just kind of do things in the town, and then that big old storm approaches, and they call out to the patrols they are on. And it's like, hey, come back to base, the storm is way too harsh. And Jesse says, oh, we're too far out, but I know a place where we can hold up until the storm goes away, and then we come back. And they're like, alright, that's cool, no problem, let's do that. You guys go hole up and just let me know when something is up. And when you're on the way back. Which means they go into a place which is full of weed, and that's Eugene's weed place. The same place you go into with Dina, or a similar place. I think in the game it was more like a basement, but it is still just it's a place that's full of weed that Maria doesn't know about. And Jesse just took it away. And yeah, Eugene is still dead, and they kind of talk a little bit and say how Eugene was Vietnam back in the day, and he wasn't a Fireflies, but he left in 2010 because he was sick of killing people, and point out that it's a shame that Joel had to put him down, and that there was no saving. And Ellie's kind of like, yeah, no saving. Of course, this is another instance where we should be like, oh, what if it would have worked? And once again, so far in that show, it's never brought up that she wasn't asked to die for the experiment, conducted by someone, at least according to the game, if we draw those comparisons, because those are very close, that has never done an operation like this before, and that apparently there were other instances of experiments like this that have failed to make a cure. And there's also, all of this doesn't even include the plan as to how the Fireflies would distribute such a theoretical cure, and why they wouldn't include organizations like Fedra in it, who clearly should have the better type of resources to even do things like this. But of course, even like in the show, and of course in this game, Fedra have been rather absent overall. I don't even know if Fedra even comes up in this game or the show ever again. But yeah, they don't seem to be a factor in anything anymore. So I don't know if this changes throughout the show. I don't know how far the show is gonna go. I just know I haven't seen really a lot of Fedra stuff in here, except like abandoned QZs. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. So yeah, they just still try to do like, what if it worked? I don't know. We go back to Abby, and Abby is on her patrol or her watch, and she spots 2 people on horseback. It's like, ooh, it's a patrol. Let me go check that out, because she also says, oh, fuck it, and just is about to leave, and then she sees the patrol. So instead of seeing footprints after going through the section in the... because in the game you go through a section, and then you see footprints, and then you cut back to Ellie. Here you see her spot 2 people on horseback. She can't see who it is. It's like, I'm gonna follow them now. And she kind of tries to go down carefully, like a very steep, snowy hillside. But she slips and slides all the way down to a place that is full of snowy infected, which actually looks like the thing that happens to you in the game in the beginning. So it feels like they kind of switch those around to do what they do next. So this is actually hilarious, because this scene that happens now, which is, she sees those infected, the floor starts to cave in, and a horde of infected comes out and starts running after her. This is one part of the horde that gets activated, which goes after the town soon, and all of them. Which means Abby is also responsible for the town being more swarmed than it's already gonna be. We're just like, oh, I don't know if I like that choice, because she tripped and fell. She activated a whole bunch of infected that are here for some reason. And just kind of runs away. She sees a wall, she jumps up, there's a ladder, she pulls herself up, she goes through the thing. They do the scene with the fence like in the game, but they make it even more claustrophobic. Like the fence is like right up at her, like there's even less space. And just like in the game, she gets saved by Joel. So, remember how I said they pointed out all these things they have to take care of in order to even get into this thing? Screw that stuff. We just stumbled upon Joel anyway, just like in the game. So that contrivance is still there. The only difference is we have Dina there instead of Tommy. So yeah, that did not change. She still just stumbles across Joel. So that's awesome. Still very lucky for her that happens. And yeah, she activated a whole horde of people of infected that now go after this the town very soon. And of course, they have something like, "Are you fine? Are you bit?" All those stuff's like, "No, I'm fine." And immediately she sits down, kind of takes a breath, and Dina goes like, "Joel!" So she instantly knows like, "Oh shit, this is a Joel." But the way it's shown is like she knows it's the Joel, because I don't know, she just assumes that's the Joel. It's like, man, you know, there's like more people that are called Joel, you know, even in this sound thing. But yeah, Gina just says Joel immediately, so she knows. Oh, by the way, she lost her rifle and her sidearm on the way here, because she immediately goes for her sidearm when she hears Joel, but she doesn't have any guns anymore. She had like an M16, I think, or an M4 or something, an assault rifle, and a sidearm. She lost both of them, even though the sidearm was in a holster. So I'm not even entirely sure how that happened. I would need to go back to check it. Play a clip right now, Future Metal, if there is a scene where you can see how she lost her guns. Thank you.
And it's gone.
So yeah, it is interesting though, because in the game you play as Abby and shoot a bunch of zombies and stuff. So it is interesting because it seems like they are starting to try to patch up some inconsistencies here and there. Like, where's the horde coming from? Why doesn't Abby just kill him right here? But the way they get there are like really stupid. So it's kind of funny. We see some admittance of failure here, and there's got to be more, but they're not going to help with the overall episode because it's still dog shit. Also, Dina is the one who immediately asks, "Hey, where the fuck did she come from? Who are you?" You know, a thing that Joel should probably ask instead of Dina, but Dina is the one who does, so that's kind of annoying. It's a Matt season with 2 super chats, thank you very much. It makes no sense that Abby's friend would stick with her for 5 years hunting down some random old man. Yeah, he killed Abby's dad, but I can't see in a world this broken and resource poor that her friends would entertain this grudge for this long. It seems weird. I was thinking about that as well, and I think I would have touched upon it a little bit later, but I'm going to do it now. Because I was thinking the same thing. I don't even know why they're so hell-bent on her being like the leader person of this group. And they just all go with what she says. Like, I don't know if we get some more context for that later, or maybe there's some context in the game. But I was thinking the same thing earlier today after watching the episodes. Like, why are they even going with her? Why is she the leader? Because I don't really get it. I feel like Owen seems like much more in the leader. He seems much more stable as a person, obviously, because he doesn't go after like a revenge grudge. So yeah, I don't know why that is. If anyone knows, let me know because I'm curious. But I just don't know what gives her the leader position and why they all went with her. Because it seems like her mission is not to avenge all the fallen soldiers of the Fireflies. It's only because she wants revenge on Joel for killing the doctor, her dad, by the way. Which I just got reminded by the show who he was because I forgot before that. So yeah, it's weird. So yeah, Dina asked where she comes from, not Joel, but we don't really get to do anything. We see a quick scene with Tommy, who's like talking to a radio operator, who's trying to contact Joel and Dina, but I guess the storm is too crazy, so she can't reach them, and he tells her, try every 10 seconds and let me know if you get anything. And Tommy goes back to check on the town stuff. And now here, as I already mentioned, in the settlement, they dismantle more of the pipe. And they now realize that there's live fungus in there. And this is also when they realize at the same time, there's already a horde running towards them. We see them open the pipe. The guy rips out stuff with like a pickaxe or something, or like I'm not sure. And it's like, oh shit, there's live fungus in there. I don't know why they decided to do that during the snowstorm. That's like super strong, but I guess that's they got time. That's the least of my issues. And yeah, before he can even tell Tommy what's up, they already see a massive horde of infected coming their way. Massive horde of infected. Like, it's so many infected. You see it? It is a very large amount of infected, where you feel like, oh, they're screwed. It was quite jarring how many there were. But yeah, another little patch that they tried to put in here is like, see, they aggravated the horde as well when they worked on the pipe, and now they realize what they did, but it's too late because there's a big horde coming their way. And it's before or after the scene. I'm not entirely sure anymore, but you see Joel, Dina, and Ellie, not Ellie, Joel, Dina, and Abby right away from the horde, and you see the horde just moving away from them. Meaning they aggravated the horde, so they just all go, okay, bye. We're not interested in you anymore. So the horde is not after Joel and the others anymore. So they take away that piece from them that we get in the game scene, where they go against the fence and they can't do the thing, can't get past them. We go quickly back to Ellie and Jesse. And they get a radio call. It's like, hey, have you heard about Joel and Dina? Because we can't reach them on the radio anymore. And they're like, oh, shit. And then the communications goes down. And they go out, say they have about, like, 20 minutes before the storm gets too strong. and they split up to find and try to find Ellie and go along the patrol side or something, the patrol routes, I guess. By the way, the visuals of the snowstorm have been pretty inconsistent throughout the episode. Like, sometimes they cut to, like, a wide shot, and there's, like, no snow at all, and then they go back in again, and then there's a snowstorm again. I feel like they fucked that up. It's, like, really inconsistent. Like, in some parts I thought, like, oh, I guess the snowstorm is done now, and then it's just back, and it's like, oh, I guess it's not done. So yeah, that was something I noticed. So many infected we see here, it's actually insane. Which also makes me wonder, why there's so many infected in this, frankly, godforsaken place where they build their town. The thing is, they have patrols and everything that go around all the time. And somehow they didn't realize there's, like, groups forming, getting ready for the winter. I mean, they're going around, like, every day on patrols. Like, I don't know why there's, like, this massive amount of infected here anymore. I feel like it should be the opposite. There should barely be any infected at all here. It should probably be close to zero if they just go around and clear out places all the time. Infected shouldn't even be that big of an issue. There should be some stragglers here and there, but if you're, like, out here, I don't know why there would be these large amounts of infected without them noticing beforehand. Like, they say they found them buried under the snow on their patrol routes, so why didn't they notice them even earlier? Like, I don't get it. They should be seeing, like, wait, there's, like, this weird thing happening where like, all these infected collect here and start burying down into the fucking snow. I guess the zombies waited, I want to say zombies all the time, you know what I mean. The infected waited for when the snow fell and then hunkered down, I guess. I don't know, it's crazy. So yeah, there's so many infected and there's no way they wouldn't see those with all these frequent patrols. Yeah, it's really stupid. Anyway, we go to the town and we see they start defending themselves. They have a whole bunch of guns up there. They get ready. They have, like, things flap open where they roll stuff down that's flammable and stuff like that. And it's a lot of people. And we also see, and here's another thing that gets Joel distracted, which they try to justify why he just gets beaten, just falls for those new people that hunker down in this thing. He's distracted by the town being basically on fire right now. Oh yeah, they look down, they realize this thing is, the town is under attack, but you don't really see any more infected from up here. It looks like they already got things under control. It was really weird. Like, it looked like there was, like, a massive horde going around. But they don't really see any from up there. There should be, like, a swarm of them. But it looks like they're already done. You'll see the visual here. Like, see? That's look how... There's nothing here. There's nothing here. Abby is like, no, we're almost at the lodge. My friends are there. We have guns, blankets, and weapons. They can fight. We can help you go back. They go up the lodge, and we go to the town. And we got the big siege. The big siege is going down. So... how do we explain the siege the best? It's really stupid, and the way they defend themselves is very risky to stupid. So, on one hand, they have a big wall that they made out of wood. Remember the word wood. Wood is important in this. Actually, most of the town is made out of wood. So they have, like, these flaps that go down. And first of all, they wait for the first wave to just crash into the wall. For some reason, they don't start shooting before that, or just very close before they hit the wall. I don't know why they don't start shooting immediately. They have guns, they have range. That's what you use them for. So you see a bunch of them crash into the thing. Then they're like, now, roll it down now. They roll down barrels, which I assume is fuel barrels or just barrels with just flammable stuff in there. Flammable, that might be an issue for your wooden walls and houses and everything. So they roll them down, they fall onto the ground, they start shooting the thing, and then they have to legit throw torches at those barrels to light them up, and then some of them explode, and they get a whole bunch of them. That works well. But now you have a shit ton of infected that are on fire, piling up at your wooden fucking wall. That's a problem, because wood is pretty flammable, in case you didn't know. Somehow the wall doesn't catch on fire, but later you see stuff in the town on fire. So I get the idea that you want to do something like this, but maybe you want to prep stuff that's like further outside and explode them there instead of having a thing that rolls down and then shoot it and throw a torch of them. And they somehow all hit the barrels perfectly as well. So that's pretty lucky that that is happening. So they do their thing. They start shooting things. They pile up. They do things. And their main plan for the rest of the town is go into the basements and roofs. So all of the civilians, like everyone who can't fight, like women, children, old people, other people who don't use weapons or whatever, like all kinds of people, like go down the basement, lock the doors, and then everyone else with guns goes on the rooftops and protect the streets, stay out of the streets. So they take aim from up there. By the way, something else that I noticed later on, when you see the wide shot, you see like the town. If you like imagine the town is like this. Where's the camera? There. It's like goes like this. Like no, if this is the town, most of the fire is like here, and there's so much wall here. It feels like they should just outnumber almost the infected they're fighting and just shoot them all down with all the guns they have. So this shouldn't be like a massive issue, and I don't think they even needed to set everything on fire. Because the way the numbers are here also don't really not add up. It's like kind of confusing to see how much they are. Because you see the wide shot, you don't even see a swarm anymore. But when you see them looking out into the distance, it's like a massive horde of zombies that come through the fog, or the storm rather. So yeah, I'm a bit confused about the numbers, especially when they start breaching the wall. And oh boy, when they breached the wall, I almost lost my fucking shit. So, you remember bloaters, right? It's like the big tanky guys you fight sometimes. They're quite tanky. I get that. They can be dangerous. Tommy sees that one singular bloater, there's one in the whole horde, one bloater. There's dozens of people on top of the wall that have guns, assault rifles, sniper rifles. So what you do is like, oh, there's this tank one. Everybody focus fire for like 5 seconds on that thing, and then it's done. Because we know we can kill them with guns. That's a thing you can do. What does Tommy do? And I couldn't believe my eyes. Tommy sees the bloater with a sniper rifle in his goddamn hand. He sees the bloater, still quite a bit away, starts running down the wall, yelling, "They gotta breach! They gotta breach!" Yells to the rooftops, "They will breach off the streets!" Like,
They're gonna breach! They're gonna breach! They're breaking through! Get ready!
what are you doing? Shoot the bloater! If he's such a big threat and he can actually breach your walls, shoot it! You have dozens of guns up there. Dozens. But then we just cut to the wall, and the fucking bloater just punches through the wall. And then all the infected come in. I was like, what are you doing, mate? Shoot it! You have so many guns. I was baffled at that decision. And this is where it gets like really stupid. So infected swarm into the town. The town is fucked. Like, it's just fucked. They crash into shops, they go through windows, everything. They go everywhere. So instead of going to that one singular breach hole and surrounded with people and just start fucking blasting into that fucking opening, by the way, they have flamethrowers, which they will use, but not on this fucking breach opening. Tommy runs down the main street, like halfway, like I don't know how far away. It's quite a bit. And there's 3 other people waiting with flamethrowers. He gets the 4th one, and they stand there, wait for the horde to approach. Like, that's the only way the infected can go. Wall, and then they can go this way, or that way, and then possibly this way, wherever alleys are and gaps are between houses. They can go all these places, and he walks here, and then all the way back here to the main street where 4 people with flamethrowers wait. While, like, infected just go everywhere. It's like, what are you doing? This is not gonna help at all. This town is fucked. This town is screwed. This is done. Done. And then you have everyone just shooting down the rooftops. Infected get up on the rooftops immediately. It's like, this is horrible. What are you doing? All you had to do was the bloater and you would have been fine. What a shitty fucking siege. I couldn't believe it. How do they get the rooftops? Oh, they just go inside the houses and then walk up. They just all go, they crash for like windows and stuff. Like they crash everything in their way. They thrash it all. And then they just go on the rooftops, people get bit, they shoot everyone. It's so stupid. And then they all approach. 2 of the guys with the flamethrowers immediately run away, which I just found funny because they were scared. Which I get it, that can happen. But yeah, there's like 2 people left. The other guy with the flamethrower gets bit and falls over like this. And then he starts flaming like something explosive, I think, or something. He flames something important, I think. I forgot what it is. I'll show it on screen. So it's only him left. He gets one of the infected. In the meantime, dozens of infected just go past him. Like, that plan just did not work whatever at all. It was actually comedic how horrifically bad this plan worked out. Like, everyone just swarms around. There's like infected going everywhere. It was embarrassing. It was so funny. And then he sees the bloater again, and he sees, oh no, the bloater is going in the direction where my wife is. He's gonna go up there. Doesn't matter, there's already like 12 infected that went inside the house and up the rooftops at the time. But that bloater, this bloater, man, I need to get him away from them. So he's like, hey, starts yelling at the bloater, like the bloater is gonna give a shit with all this noise. Gets his sight up, shoots the bloater. By the way, I'm pretty sure you see the bloater getting shot and not reacting at all. Like, he's like extra double super tanky. But somehow he gets the attention of the bloater. And the bloater goes after him, oh, how dare you. And he runs away, gets the bloater away, and he gets into like a side alley or something and realizes, oh shit, this is all like barricaded down. Basically cornering himself for whatever is gonna come his way. Lucky for him, in a way, only the bloater followed him. For some reason, this back alley is apparently the safest place to be in this whole invasion of the infected. Nothing is going on here. It's only him and the bloater coming around the corner, menacingly. Oh yeah, someone in chat just pointed out, there's just zombies running past him, infected running past him. They're like everywhere. They're like all across town now. So it's an absolute catastrophe of invasion happening right now. So he's in this corner, and the bloater comes around. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you." Brr. I wish he would have said that. It would be fun. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna kill you," and it just goes after him. He still has the flamethrower, and he just fucking starts blasting that fucker. It's like crazy, and the bloater is like really hard to set on fire, apparently. Because I think they use like gas for the fire, not like napalm or something, which is probably a good idea to be honest. Imagine they would use like napalm flamethrowers or something. And now we're hitting like video game territory. That was very video gamey. Because he empties the whole flamethrower gas onto the fucking thing. And there's like a bit of fire up here with the bloater. And it's empty. He's like, oh, fuck. And he's like cowering in the corner. It's like, oh, no. And the bro's like, oh, I'm fine. And then almost approaches him. And then I guess all the damage everyone from the rooftops did. And the dot going through with all the fire on him, right? Let's say the bit of fire here. The dot deals enough damage. And the bloater falls over and dies after not reacting to any pain whatsoever before that. So I guess he just dealt enough damage to beat the boss before he got squashed. I was like... And the funniest thing is, he still has a sidearm, but decided not to use it immediately after emptying the flamethrower. I think there was like some time between where he was just like, oh god, oh no. And as soon as that fucker falls over, he gets his sidearm and runs back out. It was... The plot armor here was crazy. In the meantime, all the infected are going around doing all kinds of craziness. Maria goes to the kennels and releases the dogs, like 20 dogs, and they go around and start biting the fuck out of infected. So, yeah, dog stampede, let's go. And yeah, the town gets swarmed hard, and that's that. Yeah, plot armor good, crazy for Tommy, obviously. If there would have been one more infected here, he would have been fucked. Yeah, so they're fighting now. If you want to know how they solve this problem of all the infected, don't worry about it. We cut back to it at the end of the episode, and they apparently won, I guess. There were losses. They have to shoot down someone who's gotten bit. We see that, so they implies like there's been losses with this fight. But how exactly? I guess they just clear everything out. They've done it. They've done it. There's probably like tons of stragglers around the city, but you know that's what's happening. Good times for sure. But yeah, that siege was horrifically bad. It's like really, really awful. Baffling decisions, baffling defense mechanisms, and the same with zombies, dude. If you have guns, they are not a big problem. You can just shoot them. And again, there shouldn't be that many infected around these parts anyway. They're like in the middle of fucking nowhere. It's stupid. So yeah, I was definitely laughing at all of that. It's very funny, but very bad, of course. And now we get to the juicy bits, because we are at the lodge. It's time for the golfening chat, and immediately they have another thing where they try to patch something up, because remember, in the game you arrive at that lodge and there's a big fence, and that's where all the infected are trapped at, and then they arrive with the horses, and then they go outside, meaning there's like an extra layer where Joel could be like, by the way, what the fuck are you doing here around these places? I've never seen you before. But we don't get that. Instead, we have them being very cold, because the storm is so cold that Dina apparently has frostbite on her hand, even though she has like gloves on or something. I would need to check, but it would need to be incredibly fucking cold for that to happen while you're moving around and just got out of town. I don't know how long they've been out there, but apparently that storm is very cold. I just don't know. If someone wants to tell me that, I'm all ears. It seemed weird to me because I have no fucking idea. And I don't know if that's gonna mean anything for her in the long run, because I don't think we've dealt with frostbite in the game. Anyway. No horde, no fence. They go in and are cold. And again, another bit of patching of the thing that Joel is not asking more questions is he's currently very distracted by the town being seemingly in trouble for what reason or ever. Also, see, you can get frostbite in about 2-ish hours at freezing. Obviously, faster the colder it gets, but it's very slow. Okay. Yeah, I don't know how long they've been out there. They left before Dina and Ellie. Before Ellie and Jesse. God, my names are wrong. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it's fine. I just don't know if that has any repercussions ever in the show. I guess getting frostbite is not great if you're pregnant, though. I would imagine. Again, Joel is currently distracted by the town being in trouble, so they do something here where you can make it a little more believable that he's not asking questions. But Dina sees the backpack with the mercenary or the military patronage of the wolves. And Dina is wondering, oh, who the fuck, like, who are you guys? So they still have someone ask who they are without them directly answering because they give them, like, treatment right now. Especially they give Dina treatment. Yeah, remember, they're only here for Joel. And then we do the whole thing. Abby tells them that he is Joel, and they have, like, some medicine, like tranquilizer stuff, and put her down to sleep for, like, an hour. Because they don't want her to see what is about to happen. And still, Abby is hell-bent on annihilating him slowly, while a bunch of the other ones are not on board with it at all. They're like, kind of like uncomfortable. Which again begs the questions, why did they go with this for 5 years? Trying to hunt down these people. But Abby wonders, like, do you know who we are? And he's like, military? Raiders? I don't know. And he's like, fireflies? And he's like, yeah. And Abby says there's no fireflies at all anymore. And I was like, what? They're like done after you get rid of them in the hospital, QZ, or the hospital? Because now I'm wondering, it's like, they after he killed the leader lady in the first game in the show, they just stopped after the past 5 years? I guess? I don't know if there's going to be more context in the show or in the game later on that I don't know about yet, but that seems incredibly unlikely to me. Like, the leader dies, and there's no one else who's going to go in there. They just disband, and no one takes over? And you're supposed to make me believe they were about to find a vaccine? They were about to find a vaccine, a cure for all this craziness, and no one wants to take over? And we get a number. Apparently Joel killed 18 people in the show. 18 soldiers. And then I guess over the last 5 years, they were like, no, we're done. So, I don't know. I believe in the game it was that they all disbanded and spread out into different factions. Wolf was one of them. I mean, I guess that makes a little more sense. But it's kind of weird. That feels weird because they have like this big thing going on where they recruit all these people from all these QZs. And then the first time the leader is done so, they're just like, we're gonna disband to all our other things. Kind of like an actual cult, remove the leader and the cult is likely to be done for. Apparently so. But I know, I feel like if there's someone going around telling them, it's like, we were about to have a cure, we got like research done, is Joe Hendry with them, then they would have succeeded. So now, something very interesting happens. So as you know, in the game here, they have not revealed yet what Joel knows about her. I don't know if we get this in the game at all, but what they do in the show is Abby tells Joel everything he needs to know to make a case for himself, to be like, huh, I should probably say something because what you're saying is not quite true. Because he tells them, oh, you went in there, you killed 18 soldiers, One of them my dad. An unarmed civilian, basically, is her defense, is her reasoning. And apparently the militia group they are a part of has a code of not killing anyone that can't defend themselves, but she wouldn't adhere to that code right here because she will kill him. And it also really shouldn't count for a lawless piece of shit like Joel. Funny you say that, because you were part of the Fireflies, so we're going around killing Fedra people left and right. We're about to, you know, operate on a defenseless young girl that didn't know it's gonna sacrifice himself potentially for nothing. And you were part of a terrorist organization that just did very lawless things. Interesting. And they do the whole shebang with them shooting him in the leg before that. And I was trying to figure out in my brain how to phrase this correctly, because it's actually really crazy that they do this. Because while she says all of this, and Joel 100% has a case to make for himself here, he just fucking takes all of this, doesn't say a word, and just tells her at some point, shut the fuck up and do it already. That's all he says. It's why did you even bother? Why did you bother trying to patch some things up here and there where I'm like, okay, you kind of made it a little bit more believable in some instances. A little bit? Still kind of lame how things happen, but you give Joel a bit more urgency that he's not really super interested in what these people are. He wants to get back to town, wants to help Tommy, wants to help all the people. He's been going around with the town. He's been taken care of. So, you know, I get what they were doing here. But then we do this, and it's like, you just fucked it all up. It doesn't matter. You just rewritten these things. You switched out characters, started to do some patching up, and it amounted to nothing. Absolutely nothing. And it is hilarious how it is kind of an admission of defeat, the way they make Joel getting caught, by removing the horde that follows them, and directing them to the town, removing the fence they hide behind initially in the game before going inside, and having Joel distracted by the town being on fire, basically. And they still try to convince the audience that Joel, in fact, did maybe something wrong, even though Druckmann already said himself he did the right thing. So I don't know what you want to do here. And funny enough, it's not even about killing all the Fireflies anymore in there. It's you killed an unarmed doctor, failing to address that he was holding a scalpel towards Joel saying, I won't let you do this. Basically, I'm gonna fucking stab you with this. And then he gets shot. Not to mention he was still part of a fucking terrorist organization. So forgive me for not giving a shit. He shot him in the fucking head after being threatened with a scalpel. Okay? So what do you want me to do? You started by getting me a little bit on board by trying to put some things into context that could potentially make it a bit better that we get to this place. And then you cock it up dramatically and pretty much make it worse by Joel knowing why she did this. And him not saying a single word. Yeah. Rip Joel. He's done. Goodbye, Joel. What a waste of effort. Like, I don't know what else to say. An absolute waste of effort. Yeah, again, Joel doesn't answer to any of this. He doesn't say he had a scalpel. He doesn't say that they wanted to cut open a young girl without her having a choice, that they forcibly tried to get him out of the building without even letting him see Ellie again before they basically kill her for an experiment they don't know is gonna work. They don't point out that we learned in the game with all these notes and whatever, that they did different kinds of experiments that didn't seem to work. We have the other hospital where they experimented on monkeys where nothing worked. The doctor that has never done an operation like this before is about to do a brain surgery. Nothing. It's not mentioned at all. fucked out to the wind. Yeah. So. Cool. Not even the doctor, but... Oh, yeah, it was like a veterinarian in the show, or in the game, right? A doctor who's a vet. Yeah, you're right. I completely forgot about that. That's even more crazy. It's like, I found a note where the fucking veterinarian was about to cut open the young girl's brain. Basically saying, hopefully it's gotta work, Lamau. So yeah, it's fucking stupid. So yeah, I guess we have a little bit of a better lead up to the thing, but and then they just absolutely cock it up and make it completely worse by Joel just not making a case for himself whatsoever. He just takes it like a little clown boy. I couldn't think of anything funnier. I'm sorry. But that's basically it. We see Ellie arrive just like in the game. She gets in, tries to shoot someone, gets knocked down. Slices the one guy. She sees him die. She sees him die with the initial blow. With the final blow, and that's that. She says, "We're gonna all kill you." They don't kill Ellie. They don't kill Dina because they have a code. Har har har. Even though now Ellie's like, "I'm gonna kill you all," saying it out loud. They just let her sit there. And Dina. And I guess they just expect they will never be found ever again. And then Ellie crawls over to Joel. It's very sad. Yeah, acting. It's fine, I guess. But at this point, I just don't give a shit. It's just, yeah, it's awful. It's still awful. Abby's team, they just leave, look at them. It's like, well, let's just get out of here. They just fuck off. Ellie mourns. We see another the shot I mentioned earlier. The town is full of infected. There's bodies everywhere. We see someone getting shot because he's bit. So they had losses, but I guess they stopped the invasion somehow. And we see Dina, Jesse, and Ellie bring back the dead body of Joel. And the episode is over. Awful. Awful. I'm surprised it didn't make it through episode 2 without killing Joel. I thought like doing it in episode 3 would be like a sensical one to do. Like, because right now we actually moved quite quickly through the first part. Because that was basically the intro from the game, right? We do this, get out of town, and start going to Seattle. And yeah, Ellie doesn't shoot Abby immediately. I think it's a bit faster than in the game. I would need to double check. But still, she gets overwhelmed right after because they don't look at her immediately. So she definitely could have shot her, yeah. So yeah, that's that. GG, Joel. Siege was stupid. The scene at the end was stupid. The lead-up was basically... the beginning of the show was basically the same as in the game. They switched some things around, but it's basically like set pieces from the game, just switched around a little bit. They switched the characters around, but that didn't really mean anything. I guess it's funny they have Tommy not be here because he's like super important to the town. But he's gonna know anyway, so it doesn't actually matter that much that he's not here but there because they still saw the faces of everyone. And you know what? Yeah, they got rid of the bigot sandwich sentence, which was very sad because that was at least funny. But yeah, there you go. That was episode 2. Only 7 more to go. I am curious to see where it's gonna stop because we're going quite fast, and I do wonder how fast they're gonna go for these sections. The game has a lot of places that are just gameplay where you just go around and check places out. So yeah, that's that. YouTube, see you next time or on the stream. Who knows? Bye.